Hello, welcome to this training tutorial on Sora. Sora is the digital reading library available through CUES. To access Sora, you'll go to soraapp.com, or you will go to the App Store or Play Store and download the Sora app. To log in, you will utilize your Active Directory credentials, and the setup code to access the CUES library is CUESUT. So I will go to the website and selecting your school, you will select CUES, or you're going to select your additional school. What will happen is you will be directed to the CUES umbrella, and each school district does have additional books that they are able to purchase on their own. So when you first log into Sora, you come to this page here called the Explore page. When you're all on the Explorer page, if you want to search for a book, you can just search for any type of book or a genre from up here. If I want to look for rocks, any books on rocks, I can just search for a book on rocks. And I have 25 ebooks and 4 audiobooks available with that search. If I go back to the Explorer page, I can come over here to the filter, and I'm able to filter many different things in this book. If I just want books that are read-along books or graphic novels, I can select the type of format that I want, specific subjects or languages. I can go through all of these things here. What's really nice for students is you have different types of lexile levels and different types of levels of the books which students are able to filter through specifically. So if I'm looking for lower level K3 readings, I can click that and then it will come through. And if I show my results, everything is here. One thing to keep in mind that once you have a filter in place, that filter will always be in place. So if I come back up here and I search for rocks again, it is only searching rocks in the K3 level reading. So I need to remove the filters so I have all the books available. So the filters is a great thing to help you and your student be able to get to a book, specific type of reading or book that you would like. If I find this search here underneath rocks, it shows the different books available. If it has the borrow, that means that book is able to be checked out. If it has add to place a hold, then that book is not available to check out. I can place a hold on that book. If I click on a book and I want to kind of read a little synopsis about it, the different types of levels, the format and the audience available with this book, I have this here. What's also nice, if I come to this book here, The Undaunted, it has different types of books which are similar to that title, to that genre of book, which it will give me references to or suggestions to. Also, if I want to find more historical fiction or Christian fiction or fiction books, it has those filtered right here. So Sora does kind of help you get things in line for helping you figure out what you want to read, hopefully. So if I come back to the main Explorer page, click here on the bottom of the main Explorer page. This page is set up, first of all, with these different types of books. This is editable by myself or others who are on the backside of Sora. We can put these books out here so everyone can kind of see what these different subjects are. So that's another way to sort for books is if I come up here to the top and I click on collections, it'll take me to basically the same thing, but just in word format. So if I want to quickly go to my comics or graphic novels, I can go to right there. To check out a book, it's really simple. I just click on borrow from here, or if I'm in the book, I can click on the borrow aspect also. So here we are on Donner Dinner Party, reading about this book. And as I click on the book, I just kind of scroll through the book, and that's how you going to access the pages in this book. I can turn back a page by moving my mouse or clicking, tapping with my finger if I'm on a iPad or Kindle type device. I can do it that way. To close a book, I just go click on the close button. To see which books I have checked out, I can come to my shelf, and here I have 2 books which I have checked out at the moment. When I'm also in my shelf tab, I can see any books I have holds on. I can create lists if I want to create any type of list, and as I'm browsing the library, I can put books in these lists so I can go back and look at them. For example, lists on U.S. history or lists on other things. I can go out and I can find that. But here's the books I have on loans. If I'm on my shelf, I can just click on Open Book, and it'll open the book for me. A couple features within the book itself to help the reader is once you're in the book, if you go to this little A up on the top and click on that, this lets you change the lighting and the text size. If I come down here to the custom tab, I can change on the typeface and how I want the line spacing and the weight of the word, so it could help the reader as they are reading. Sora does have the great dyslexic font ability, so it changes the font, so it helps those with dyslexia in any way. So if I hide that, and again, as I scroll through the page and I am reading, if I am not sure of a word, Sora has the availability that you can you are able to define a word. So if I click or tap or hold onto a word, it will pull up this chart at the bottom. I can highlight this word. So if I want to highlight that, and I can make a quick note saying they progressed well. If I can type here, and if I save that note, then that's going to be saved in my note. And as I'm reading the book, as you notice at the bottom, there's these different notes which I have noted. And if I click on those, it'll take me back to that. Another thing which I can do while I am reading the book is I am able to make bookmarks or tabs. If I come up here and I click on this bookmark section, then that page is bookmarked, and I can easily access this bookmark at any time. Again, from the bottom of the page, see these bookmarks at the very bottom of the page, I can jump back and forth through that. Another thing which you're able to do in Sora is you are able to define words. So if I click on a word and I click on define, it will pull up the dictionary and help me give me the definition of what that word is. If I go down to the bottom, I have the abilities to explore more of what that word is, but I can also translate that word. If I click on the Translate tab, it will let me translate this into different languages if I needed that for any reason at all. What is great in Sora as well is if you have a screen reader activated in Sora, that you can turn any book into a narrated book. So on a desktop like I am now, I can hit the tab button and different things are going to start highlighting. Pretty soon at the bottom of the screen it's going to say to read from here. If I had the screen reader activated or set up on my computer, then it will go through and read to here from me as a screen reader. So that is a great feature for those students who may need that in any way. I can also search for words right within the book. If I want to find anything about wells in this book, I can go through and I can search for that word, and I can go right to that page by clicking on it. That's a great feature that you can do in Sora as well. So once I get to a book, I can close the book, or I want to close out of this book. I can come here to my books I have back at my shelf. If I click on the book title, not open the book, I'm able to see my notes, my highlights, which I am able to download these and export these, which is a great thing to do right to your Google Drive or to other things as well. I can renew a book from here. By default, books can be checked out for 14 days. So I can renew a book if I need to at any time. I can return a book, or I can add it to my list. Here's where you can create a list, which I had mentioned before. If I want to turn a book in, if I realize this book is not for me, or I'm done with this book, I can return this book. And another way I can access my notes, if I go into the Home tab on the bottom of the screen, here's going to have all my recent notes and highlights and all my defined words, and again some suggestions from books which I might find interest in as well. One last thing to talk about here with Sora is if I go up here to the Pancake tab, the little button with the 3 lines, this is my Settings tab. Here's where I have quick access to change from dyslexic font, the contrast, and also the languages. If I click on this All Settings, here is where I am able to change my lending periods. By default, I set 14 days, but I can change these to 7 to 21 days lending periods. We like 14 days, so hopefully students can read quicker and get their books returned as quickly as possible. You will notice also that I have the ability to add a library. Right now, if I'm logged in with the CUES UT code, I just have access to the 4,000 or 5,000 books in the CUES library. But if I have a library card or a bookmobile card to the public library, that is all part of the Beehive Library Consortium. And if I add the consortium to my overdrive, then I have access to the thousands of books available in the Beehive Library Consortium. And all you need to add a library is just to have a library card and type in the number. So if I just add a library and come here and I can just search it, click on it, and then I'm already logged in, but it will ask me for my library card to access that. This is a great feature. Encourage you and your students to take advantage of Sora. One thing that you can do as a teacher is you can assign books to students. If there's a book that you would like students to read as a class or a specific student, you can assign that book to a student, and then they will have the ability to access that book based on you giving that to them. If you would like that feature set up, just go ahead and contact me, Brandon at mycues.org, and I can get you set up from the back side of Sora. It's called Marketplace. And what students will see is they will just see right here books which they have to put in a code, but then books that will be assigned to them. So thank you for watching this short video. Hopefully you can get involved in reading through Sora and get your students involved with it also. And please reach out if you have any questions or concerns. Appreciate it.